Dr. Pepper is the best soda on planet Earth that I've tried. I haven't tried a soda that's better than Dr. Pepper. So if you know of one, drop it. But my God. Okay, so when it comes to Scorpio, I have a lot of experience with the sign of Scorpio. I have my own. If you saw, I'll go ahead and I'll post it like up here somewhere. I'll link to my previous video about the Aquarius moon square Pluto and Scorpio. This is for fun, and this is my perspective from one astrologer, right? You don't have to take what I'm saying as absolute fact, although it is. Because I said so. I'm just kidding. But you don't have to take what I said as absolute fact. But if you agree with me, I guess, give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs down if you just are a hater like that. I don't care. And yeah, from there, I guess we could take it to point number 1. So my point number 1 for Scorpio, and this is like a general rule. So this is not like something that's special or like, oh, one Scorpio is this way and the others are not. This is point number 1. All Scorpios are dark-sided. There, I said it. It's the truth. Tell me I'm wrong and you're lying. But all Scorpios are dark-sided as a general rule. Why do I say that this is as a general rule? Because Scorpio rules the 8th house. 8th house rules money. It rules, or when I say money, like shared resources. It rules sex, sexuality, life, death, rebirth, birth, like the nastiness, like all the underworld stuff. It rules the underworld. Like Scorpio, like that is the 8th house. So you're talking about a sign, people with their sun sign in the sign of like an 8th house sign, they're gonna be dark-sided by nature. So it's not like we're saying like, oh, you're a bad person or anything like that. But when it comes to like dark energy and energetics, Scorpio plays around in that realm because that's where they're from. So expecting anything other than that is just silly. It's just silly. And that actually takes me to point number 2. And point number 2 is that Scorpios thrive. And I don't mean survive. I don't mean live. I don't mean like get by. I mean Scorpios thrive in toxicity. And I mean that. I'm not joking. They thrive in toxicity. Again, it's where they come from. If I'm thinking about the different signs as like the different water signs, for example, if I'm looking at Scorpio versus Cancer or Pisces, to me, Scorpio is like murky swamp water. That is what Scorpio is. Whereas, Cancer would be like ocean waves because, it's cardinal energy. Like it's forward moving. There's tsunamis, there's waves that crash into the shore, different things like that. And then Pisces being mutable water, I would imagine it as like, it can collect and condense into a puddle of water, or it can disperse in our oxygen. So that's kind of just how I view the energetics of each of these different water signs. So when I'm looking at Scorpio, again, like they thrive in toxicity. It's funny because like I attract so many Scorpios, and I am a person who's about like personal development and bettering myself as like a human and things like that. And I need, even though like I have a Libra 8th house, I need a balanced, healthy relationship in order for me to be in a relationship. So that, like, because of my modality, like the way that I'm oriented and I need a healthy relationship, it will not work with a Scorpio. And I'm not saying all Scorpios are off the map and it's just impossible. I am not saying that. I'm saying the likelihood of a successful relationship the way I want it to be with the archetype of a Scorpio is very low. And that has proven itself time and time again. Because again, we're going back to a sign that likes power plays. They like to use other people's insecurities for their own benefit. They do rule emotional manipulation. So this is all dark-sided stuff. Again, this shouldn't scare you. We live on Earth, so all of this energy has to exist. But Scorpio holds that pattern. And if you notice, like if you're looking at any of your friends, be like, but Scorpio's not toxic. They've been married for 20 years. Yeah, they only get into relationships that are self-serving. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because they have a very parasitic nature to them. Is that one of my points? If that's point 3, I'm just going to roll on over into point 3. That is point 3, is that they have a very parasitic nature. So let me go ahead and segue into that. So I'm segueing into the fact that Scorpios have a very parasitic nature to them. Again, you can kind of just do a Google search of like, what is a parasite and how do they survive? What I've noticed in like my observations and the men that were Scorpios that tried to get with me, the number one thing I have noticed is that they are only interested if they can derive something from you. Again, this is 8th house stuff. And I'm sorry to like, if I'm dragging Scorpio like this, but this is the truth that people need to understand, because people are down for this. There are people who walk on this earth who are down for relationships that feel the way they do with Scorpio. Intense, imbalanced, power plays, manipulation, emotional stress. Like, there are people who are all the way down for that. And this video is for those people. Find you a Scorpio so you can have it. So you can have your wish be fulfilled. What I've noticed about Scorpios is that they're very parasitic by nature. So unless you have something to offer them, if you are useless to them, you will know that you're useless to them because you won't hear from them ever. Okay? I mean, it's just the truth. If they have no use for you, you will not hear from them. Again, Scorpio, the sign, because I'm saying parasitic by nature, Venus, which rules relationships, Venus is in detriment when it's in Scorpio. So this is applying to people who have their Venus in Scorpio as well as their moon in Scorpio or anything like that. Any of those heavy Scorpio or Pluto placements, they like the toxicity. And again, because they're parasitic by nature, they're unaware of the toxicity that they're necessarily bringing to others. They're usually unaware from what I've experienced. If you have something to offer your Scorpio, perfect. But if you don't keep them goods coming, or you don't keep the benefits coming, or you don't have something that can always be replenished, they will suck you dry like a vampire, and they'll toss your body to the side until they find a new host. If I'm lying, tell me in the comments that I'm lying. So kind of staying on theme with how they're parasitic, another thing that is very unique specifically to the sign of Scorpio that I've noticed is that they seem to be the only sign, like aside from Aries. I've seen Aries do this too. So this could be like a Martian thing, like a Mars thing. But Scorpios are self-destructive as well. Like, that's also part of their nature. Like, they self-sabotage. I believe Scorpio, again, as my own astrologer and my own interpreter of astrology, I believe Scorpio rules like is the house of self-undoing, which would be like the 8th house. They say it's the 12th house. Maybe it is, because of the addictions and the illusions and stuff like that, but you need like help to get into the 12th house realm. Like, you need help to be delirious. You need help to be delusional. Like, either you're doing drugs or you're in love or something like that. Like, you need help for the 12th house stuff. The 8th house stuff just is you, but like on the deeper side of you. So Scorpio really like rules, and they will self-destroy. Like, they will take something that is perfectly healthy and they will depurify it. Like, they will sully it on purpose. I've seen it happen. So it's very interesting how Scorpios move like that, and so many of them really do have that self-sabotage streak to them. Like, that's why they thrive in toxicity though. That's a toxic trait that a lot of them practice, and it works for them. Like, if a Leo is trying to do that bullshit, a Leo's not going to get far, because a Leo needs to shine bright. A Leo has a big heart. A Leo has a lot of love to give. So they can't thrive in that behavior, but Scorpio can. That's what I'm saying. Like, we need Scorpios on this planet. So this is not like a Scorpios ain't shit video, because it's not. But we are not going to sit up here and say that Scorpios are just good people walking around kumbayaing, because that's a straight up lie. So in addition to being parasitic, they will sabotage a relationship. They will sabotage themselves. They will sabotage a job opportunity. I've seen that. I've seen somebody who was already struggling in life because they got a DUI. This is Scorpio. They got a DUI, so they're already struggling because Lord knows how that ruins your life. And so finally they did get a job, and then they did some fuckery on the job. So basically they got fired right after they got the job. So Scorpio takes part in behavior like that. Again, they rule the self-undoing, the self-sabotage, and that's fine for them. Onlookers might say you're fucking crazy, but a Scorpio knows what they're doing. Okay, so we are wrapping up. We are already on point number 4, and this is another one that I feel like is obvious, but astrologers do not talk about. They actually talk about the reverse, which again, I don't know what astrologers are looking at, if this is just like something that's like herd mentality and they're just repeating what they heard somewhere else. But Scorpios are extremely, and I mean extreme, like when they talk about Scorpio being intense and all that stuff, like that's all very true. Notice how like none of these tips were like about their intensity, because that's all the stuff you hear about. We know that already. We're talking about the real. Scorpios are extremely superficial. Now, I may get some backlash from folks on that because they'd be like, no, Scorpios are deep. Their emotions are so pure and they're so loyal and they're so devoted. Scorpio is an egomaniac. So they are loyal and devoted to their own egos. So unless you are a character who stimulates their ego in a way that is necessary for them, you don't mean anything. So that's kind of just going back to what I said, how they toss people to the side and stuff like that. Like they're very superficial. That's why Scorpios, let me just talk about 2 very famous Scorpios right off the top of my head, Drake and Future. Like these are musical artists, right? They're rappers, and they talk about women. They have these relationships with these women, but they select these types of women on purpose because again, they like a certain type of woman. They like a woman that looks good. Now that's something that I feel like needs to be discussed more. Like Scorpio is not checking for you if you're not a hottie. Like, I'm sorry. Anybody who says like, oh yeah, but Scorpio, they're pure, so it's just about like who you are. It's just about your confidence. Let me say something about that. Scorpio loves a confident woman because they love a challenge. They love the challenge of bringing somebody down. And that's another truth. That's not necessarily part of them being superficial, but they love a bad bitch who they can drag down. They love that opportunity. Scorpio needs that. They need the opportunity. That's why they go for women who have a certain appearance or certain things like that. Again, they're very superficial. Drake and Future, like they like these women. They look good, right? They do not care if you have a fake ass. They do not care if you have fake titties, fake lips. They do not care if you got gender reassignment surgery. They do not care. They care about the optics because again, they are very surface level. Very. They like pleasure. Like the bear, like pleasure because again, the 8th house rules sex. They can engage. That's why I don't like when they say like, oh, Scorpio, they need an emotional bond or they need to be deep with you before they can get in a relationship with you. No. They need to know they have some sort of control over you in order to get in a relationship with you. That's the only thing that's going to work. Scorpios don't get in relationships with self-assured women. That's just not what they do. And that's why, again, like Scorpio kind of gets a bad rap for being the partner that everyone goes to as like a rebound or something like that. But again, that's low key like your purpose. Like y'all can handle that. Y'all can handle being that character in other people's lives. When other people are looking for stable characters, they're looking for healthy characters, something they can build with, but you can't build with someone who's always trying to drag you down. So there is a place for Scorpio. And again, I do kind of feel bad when it comes to relationships in regards to Scorpio because the sign of Scorpio is not built for healthy relationships. They're built for toxic relationships, and toxic relationships serve their purpose. You know, as far as growth goes, as far as the journey of the soul, as far as like life goes, you need dark energy and you need light energy. So Scorpios definitely have their place, but these are just some truths that really need to be shared before you go getting all crazy about Scorpios and projecting your fantasies of happily ever after onto them, because that's it. They're just not a sign of happily ever after. Okay? So again, very superficial. They'll stay in a relationship. The relationship can be toxic as hell. Scorpio does not require a healthy relationship to be a relationship. That is not a requirement for Scorpio. They just need a warm body. That sounds bad, but it's true. They just need a warm body when they want a warm body. They don't even need it to be there necessarily all the time. They just need it to be there when they're ready for it. So I'm already starting to wrap up. I'm a little sad about that because I enjoyed making this little Scorpio video. This is a fun, a fun little drag. Last point number 5. And this is my absolute favorite one, again, because, I'm not scared of the dark side. I'm not scared of dark energy. And so Scorpio, point number 5 is they are a true partner in crime. Like, I am telling you, if you are gonna do something dirty, if you are gonna do some underworld work, if you're trying to do some detective work or some spy shit or some sly shit, call your Scorpio friend. They are the ones. They are the ones to help you. Call them. Utilize them. They will sleuth. They will find the information. They love a challenge. They love an opportunity to expose somebody, to drag somebody, to blast somebody. Give Scorpio that opportunity. They are truly a partner in crime. And I'm not going to share any real life examples of that, but I can say that again, if you're going to be up to some crazy-ish, call your Scorpio friend. They'll help you bury that body. I'm laughing. I'm sorry. It's not funny. That is not funny, but I'm saying, if of all the signs, you're going to want to call your Scorpio friend. That's just all I can say about that. Okay. So I believe that wraps it up. Yeah, that was my 5 points, my 5 untold truths about Scorpio. I thought they were pretty fun. Again, this is just a video you can kind of catch that isn't very common. I haven't seen any of the points I just discussed. I never see those mentioned in other Scorpio videos. So again, I wanted a Scorpio season video. I wanted something that was on theme because I'm celebrating my Scorpio baby tomorrow. And I'm really excited for that. And then it's gonna be sad season. So happy Scorpio season to everybody. Happy birthday to all the Scorpios if it was your birthday this month or at the end of October. And it was a great Scorpio season for me, especially with the eclipses. Very good energy. So I didn't get into any of the esoteric, what I feel Scorpio really represents esoterically. I could probably do that down the line. But again, this was a very fun surface level, high level 5 untold truths about Scorpio. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and let me know. And I hope that you join me back here for whatever my next video is going to be that I upload. So if you watched all the way to the end, thank you very much, and I will see you next time. Bye.